Welcome once again to Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, the home of championship softball. And now it's time for the border battle as the men's slow pitch softball teams take the field. Carter Blackburn with Doug Flynn, 11-year Major League Baseball player, former member of Team USA. This is border battle number 3. And yes, indeed, this is the rubber match.
It is the rubber match, and 30 has been the magic number, Carter. The first year the USA wins 30-23. Last year, in a mild upset, Canada holds on to win 30-29. This is an explosive USA ball club, and it's a Canadian team that's playing with a lot of heart.
Doug, take us through some of the differences between the men's game and what we may be more familiar with in the women's game.
The pitching mound's back a little bit. It's at 50 feet. The fences are 300, which is nothing for most of these guys. They can all hit it that far. The batter starts with a 1-1 count. Foul ball, after you get 2 strikes, the batter is automatically out. There's a 10 home run limit. And so it's going to be very important that both of these teams maximize their home runs, get men on base and then hit those home runs. And then there's a 20-run rule after 4 innings and 15 after 5. So this is it's a game where both teams know it's very important to score very early. And last year, the Canadian team started off with 11 runs.
It is Canada leading off, so Dave Bolt, the leadoff hitter for Team Canada. USA is the home team in border battle number 3. And if this is your introduction to men's slow pitch softball at this level, this is different from the coolers in the dugout, your uncle huffing and puffing to get down to first base that some folks may be familiar with. Old grounds out, round number 1. Let's take a look at our Geico starting lineup for Team Canada. 11 batters in the order. Bolt grounds out. It'll be Gare, Fallardo, Caden Head, Kaylee Hook, Galashan Forrest, Payne, and Jeremy Sutton, the pitcher for Team Canada.
And you're seeing one of the differences right now in this year's USA team. They've added 6 new players, Dennis Ruley being one of them, who just caught that ball on a... The ball really gets there so fast.
This is Gare flying to center field, 2 gone. We take a look at the Geico defense, and again, you'll notice an extra infielder on the defense for Team USA. Doug, take us through some of the defensive strategies and changes.
Well, you have 5 infielders now instead of having their customary 4. So the reason why is because with a 10 home run limit, they've got guys in the outfield that can run the ball down. So what you've done is add an extra infielder that will be playing there just to keep the balls from going through the middle. They have one of the best outfielders in Rick Baker, as you see the 5 infielders now around the field on a right-handed hitter. The middle infielder will shift over to the third base side, and on a left-handed hitter, he'll move over to the second base side.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Strike called, and we are a strike away from the rare 1-2-3 inning.
Play. Here we go.
Frank Henry, the Canadian catcher, batting now, and again, 30 runs has won this game the last 2 years.
And Frank Henry, one of the guys that plays in the United States. Off of this Canadian ball club, they have 6 players that play over in the States.
Henry lifts the full count 2-out pitch into center field, and Canada goes 1-2-3 in the top half of the first. It's the 2011 border battle, which means big bombs, a budding rivalry. USA versus Canada. Men's slow pitch softball on the diamond in Oklahoma City, which means look out beyond those outfield walls. Can Team USA take back the title? The 2011 border battle, USA versus Canada.
The 2011 Men's Border Battle is brought to you by Geico, saving people money on more than just car insurance. By ASA, play ASA. And by Golden Corral, help yourself to happiness.
That guy's standing next to the 350 or sitting next to the 350 sign, maybe poised to catch one here in a moment. Border battle number 3. Doug, take us through our progressive keys to the game.
Well, I think for Canada, they had to score early and often, and they have to make the routine play. Last year, they came out and scored 11 in the first inning, and it put the USA in a hole, which they were able to catch up, but it still gave them a substantial advantage. For the USA, don't waste your home runs. That means don't hit home runs with no one on base. you want to try to get 1 or 2 guys on, and then your hitter will have a free swing. Those numbers that you're looking at are well within reach of most of these hitters for both ball clubs. And I think another thing for the USA is to play with the same intensity that Canada came out with last year. And from what I've seen in their exhibition games, they've certainly done that.
So the fence is 300 feet, 80 feet back of what the fence is here at ASA Hall of Fame Stadium for the women's fast pitch game. But we have our markers all the way out to 500 feet. So that'll tell you about the capability of these hitters. Yeah.
That's it.
This kid here, Don DeDonatis Jr., when he first came up, all I heard about was what a great shortstop he was, and he certainly hasn't disappointed in what little bit I've got an opportunity to watch him play.
Now, you said you've gotten to watching some of the exhibition tours as DeDonatis sends that to center field for out number 1. Our Geico starting lineup, batting order for Team USA. DeDonatis leads it off, followed by Greg Cannell, Brian Wegman in right field, Brett Helmer, the big boppers in the middle of the USA order. Baker, Bumgardner, Mccraw, Rick Baker in center field, followed by Brian Rainwater, Andy Purcell, and Dennis Rulli at third base.
Here's one of the up-and-coming good young players that's on this ball club, has tremendous power. But he's a name that's going to be heard around the softball world for a lot of years.
Well, Doug, you got into softball as Connell puts USA on the board 1-0. Now, when you talk about home run strategy, that's 1 for USA. 10 is the limit. So is Greg trying to poke that ball out there?
He was just trying to hit the ball up the middle. They're so strong, and when you hit the ball with a little bit of, hit it underneath the ball and it starts rotating, especially on a 300-foot fence, that's nothing for these guys. And I'm sure he was just trying to hit a base hit to center. Watch him hit down on the ball, just trying to hit it up the middle. But he gets that good rotation. He knows when he hits it, it's way out of the ballpark.
And again, if you're new to this level of the sport, the home run limit meaning 10. So that's why, Doug, one of your progressive keys to the game is don't waste home runs. Try and get a runner or 2 or 3 on base before you're swinging for the fences.
Exactly, and that's Brian Wedman right there, who is probably the best player in the country, the best two-way player. One of the best defensive players, one of the best offensive players, and he can flat play this game.
Let's take a look at the Geico starting lineup, the defense for Team Canada, and yet again an extra infielder, so a bit of a different look from what you're used to seeing in baseball or in other levels of softball.
I tell you, you're looking at Ryan Cayley and Jeff Gare up the middle. They're very, very good players, and now we're looking at Brett Helmer, who is not only one of the best hitters on this club, he's led the nation in hitting for 4 years, but also one of the strongest men in the game.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
They have a very good infield, this Canada team does, with Caden Head at third base, and they just play excellent defense, and that's what they did last year.
Helmer lifts this one into right field. And beyond, the truck parked beyond the right center field wall, so it is a 2-run home run for Brett Helmer. Home run number 2 by Team USA. So 2 home runs and 3 runs across. That would usually be a monster inning in other measures of baseball and softball.
Well, he's just so strong. You see, he doesn't hit this ball good at all, but they're so strong the ball goes out of the ballpark. They already have 2 home runs now, and they're certainly not trying to do that. So you never know, it could come in play. Last night in one of their exhibitions, they scored 23 runs in the first inning. I saw them play in Cincinnati. They scored 33 runs in the first inning. So they have a lot of firepower, but they don't need to get rid of the home runs this early, and certainly they're not trying to.
So Bryson Baker bats from Woodland, California. Doug, you got into this sport after an 11-year Major League career, collegiate baseball career. And that one sails out as well for Baker. So 3 home runs by Team USA in the first inning, 4-0 start. I'm curious, Doug, as to how many of these guys reach the national team, the different avenues to reaching the USA national team of men's slow pitch softball.
Well, the guys on these teams all come from 4 major ball clubs. And that's kind of unusual, but because there's only 4 big teams, and that's what everybody strives to do. You try to get to the top level of the game. Right now it's Rosmondo, Combat, Laser Vision, GTL, and Gene Shop. And all of these players as the U.S. is just bombing away right now. And
Need game balls.
certainly not exactly what they're looking for, as you see Steve Shortland look in the dugout as if to say, guys, what in the world are we doing?
So Bumgarner hits a home run. It's 5-0. 4 home runs by USA, but again, because of the 10 home run limit, you've used 4 of the 10 home runs that you're allowed in the game and only 5 runs out of them. So,
you know, there could be a little nerves that are playing a part in this game right now. We saw that with the Canadian team, but having talked to both, I mean, even though it's a slow-pitch softball game, both teams are so proud to represent their country and to be here, so maybe there's just a little bit of nerves going on.
last year was Canada winning in dramatic fashion as the USA had used the home run allotment, so a pair of home runs in the final frame for the USA ended up in outs again because that 10 home run allotment was used. Johnny Mccraw singles his way on.
41-year-old Johnny Mccraw, who in 2010 was voted the best player in the world or the best player in the United States. Last year in this ball game had 6 hits and 6 at-bats, and so he is an outstanding player. He can hit it far, and he can also base hit it.
I asked some of the guys what they would prefer for their home run calls, you know, when they hit it out. Johnny Mccraw said, well, if I hit one out, you can just say, oops.
Good pitch. You got it. You got it.
Rick Baker rolls this one for a fielder's choice. Mccraw cut down at second base, 2 gone in the first.
It was a nice play right there, and just as we said, it's going to be important for the Canadian team to make every play. This ball gets out there quick, especially off that dirt. We used to call dirt like that, and in Dodger Stadium, Astro dirt, because the ball would come off it so fast and scoot. But just a nice play right there for Jeff Gare, who's an outstanding fielder.
Well, this dirt has been put through triple-digit days, day after day during the heat wave that settled in.
Wait. Illegal. Like that pitch.
This is Brian Rainwater from Kathleen, Georgia.
Wow. Oof. And that's a BB. I mean, that ball is 1 foot away from the fielder, and he really didn't have a chance. Olivier Forrest. And you can see him looking right now like maybe he should have had. Olivier, I want to tell you, that ball was hit pretty good. I wouldn't have been ashamed to have missed that one. You asked me a little bit, Carter, about where the game has changed. We're seeing some of that in the equipment. The bats are very, very good right now, and the ball jumps off of it. It comes through there a lot faster than when I played. There's when you want to hit your home runs.
Andy Purcell sends that one on top of the building beyond the left center field wall. A good 400-plus shot from Andy Purcell, and home run number 5 for Team USA is a 3-run home run.
Andy Purcell, the best pitcher probably in the country right now, and shows that he's also a tremendous hitter. As this ball hits on top of the building some 400 feet away, and wow, that's just tremendous power.
Louder for me to hear, please.
Here's a young man, 44 years old, Dennis Ruley, who was nice enough to tell me, that his first year in softball was my last. Ryan Cayley couldn't come up with that smash, and I tell you, the ball is getting there very fast. You can see they don't have much time to react, but last year Canada made all the plays. This year right now, not making all the plays.
And that was officially called E6, allowing Ruley to reach, and we go back to the top of the order.
Hey, Jeremy.
Don DeNalis flew out to center field to get it started. So again, USA has used 5 of its 10 home runs already here in the first inning.
1 ball, 2 strikes. That's it.
DeNalis smokes that one into center field to keep the first inning going. And all the way down to third base goes Dennis Ruley.
Yep, good base running right there. He's got a young kid that's a pretty good player too, which he loves to coach. You see him go there, and he kind of sets up the outfielder, sort of dekes him into relaxing a little bit, and then takes on the extra base.
Greg Connell, who got the scoring started for Team USA with a solo home run earlier this inning, hits that line drive off the first baseman's mitt. scoring run number 9 for USA. And how important then when you're trying to get runs across but not hit home runs. I mean, that seems a little counterintuitive to the folks who know the women's softball game or baseball where you're trying not to hit a home run. But what are the challenges of that, Doug?
Well, the challenges are that these guys have spent most of their time trying to hit long balls, and now all of a sudden they've got to learn a different game. I think it's made the game better because it's brought defense in it. They moved the bases back. But you can see that the ball gets there so fast on these fielders. And right now, I'd be surprised if Wegman didn't try to go hit one out because it's an opportunity for a 3-run homer. And if you can get all 3-run homers, you've already got your 30 runs, obviously. So you'll watch. He's liable to hit a bomb right here.
One ball.
I'll call this one. How's that?
Go for it.
2 down.
Ball.
Good pitch.
No?
Line
He's such a good base hitter, Carter.
So Wegman line drive back up the box. That's going to bring Deedonales home and make it 10-0.
You watch this. There's a chance to hit a home run, but they know they've hit a bunch. They leave him a big hole up the middle, and he's such a good player.
So is that something that the head coach, Steve Shoreland, is telling his guys now, let's try and get runs home without the home runs?
I'd say, of course, when you get 2 runners on, you still want to try to hit the home run. But when you got the guys who are your best base hitters, and Wegman is certainly one of those, and he has such confidence that he can go ahead and get the base hit, then he'll do that. There's a lot of guys that are just better at doing it than others, and he's just the best two-way player in the game. You see Steve Shortland over at third base, and take a good look at the USA. This is just the opposite of the way the game started last year when Canada had 11 runs and the USA came in and got 3 or 4 and battled back eventually. But this USA team has played a lot of exhibition games. They've been averaging 28 runs to 11 for their opponents. 5 of the games have been run rules, so they really haven't got to finish a lot of ball games. Canada, for the first time, played a lot of ball games in Canada, played a couple, as a matter of fact, which they never do. They just come here to Oklahoma City and play their exhibition. So, you know, they're serious about this.
Good pitch.
Brett Helmer takes a big rip back up the box, fielded by Sutton to put an end to the first inning, but Team USA with 10 runs on the board to get the border battle started.
I don't know. I did not see.
ASA soft.
Men's slow pitch softball, Canada versus USA. It is border battle number 3. Already 10-0 USA as we go to the second. Doug Flynn, those of you who remember Doug Flynn as the Major League Baseball player before his outstanding softball career. 11 years at the big league level with the Reds, a Gold Glove with the Mets as well, finishing out with the Detroit Tigers. And then on to men's slow pitch softball, including the trips to the championship level with Team USA. So, Doug, how did you go from Major League Baseball, and then what got you into this sport?
You know, but I left to play baseball. I signed on a match book, a contract with a guy that said when I got through playing baseball, I would come back and play softball. Well, we didn't know I was going to be gone 14 years. So I came back home. He said, you're going to have to try out on Sunday. I said, try out? So I tried out for the team, and then started with Star Path and Hank Bassett for all of those years, and absolutely loved it.
One away already, and the first 4 Canadian hitters have been retired.
Okay.
So, Doug, you started playing this sport simultaneously while you were playing baseball in college. Is that right? That's how you got introduced to the sport of softball?
You know, Carter, I was going to college and playing baseball 2 days a week and playing softball twice a week. Guys would come get me to go play. And some friends came to me and encouraged me to go try out for the Cincinnati Reds at a tryout camp. So I tried out, got the big contract of $2,500. Oh, what a play by Ruley.
Wow, Ruley guns down Cadenhead. The first 5 Canadians have been retired. Dennis Ruley.
That is outstanding right there. I mean, you can see he's got a little baseball background in him, but what a defensive player. We get to see him come in, barehand the ball, all in one motion, make the throw. Just a great play. And I don't use that term very often, but boy, that certainly is.
Well, you know, Dennis is a Diamond diehard. His son is named Easton. And now here's Rulli again, picking it across the diamond. 1, 2, 3, Canada retired. Defense in the border battle, led by Dennis Rulli.
Andy, good work, Andy.
The original vent visor from Auto Vent Shade comforts more drivers than any other window vent for one very good reason. It works. Its unique design lets fresh air in while keeping passengers and interiors dry in the rain or cool in the heat.
Hey, Mom, did you see my hit? Saw the whole thing.
Paired with the original bug flector, they're the perfect visibility combo. That is, assuming you have them. The original vent visor and bug flector from Auto Vent Shade. Available wherever quality auto parts are sold.
So what are we going to do with this?
I don't know. Usual?
Sometimes it pays to switch things up.
Mike.
Border Battle 3 on the diamond now in Oklahoma City, but our coverage of the World Cup of Softball continues this weekend. Tonight, 9 Eastern, Team USA, the women's fast pitch against Japan. Big matchup then Sunday, 5 Eastern, Great Britain versus Team USA. Both those games on ESPN2. World Cup of Softball presented by Geico on ESPN2 tonight and Sunday. Team USA losing 4-3 to Canada earlier today here in Oklahoma City. First loss for Team USA. The men's slow pitch Team USA already a 10-0 start on Canada, and the first 6 Canadian hitters have been retired by Team USA. Bryson Baker gets it started in the second with a single, and then advances to second on the bobble in center.
This is a beautiful swing here. You can see down on top, hit that ball perfectly. Gets misplayed. Unusual for Canada has 6 new players this year as well as the United States, but the 6 that the USA added on to them are 6 of the best in the world.
Rusty Bumgardner slices this one the other way. Around third base goes Baker, gets the green light there, and Baker comes home to make it 12-0 USA. Correction, 11-0 USA. Quick trigger on the scoreboard before Baker touched home plate. Bottom line, scores 11-0.
Some of these guys are free swingers. You look at a man like Rusty Baumgartner, who 6'6", 6'7", probably weighs 270. And to watch him be able to handle that bat like that is just amazing. Good look at Rusty on second.
Well, Canada took the second year of the border battle last year here in Oklahoma City, as that one is lifted beyond the right field wall. Johnny Mccraw goes opposite way. Well, and Johnny said, if I hit one out, the home run call should be oopsie.
You can see the ball go out, and he's not real happy about it after he hits it. You can see him go, oh, man. Oh, trying to hit the wall.
Oopsie. So that is home run number 6 of the allotted 10 for Team USA.
And here's probably the best outfielder in the game right now, Rick Baker. Can run balls down, play center field for him. Is a good base hitter and just has outstanding speed.
Slapping the other way for a single. Still nobody out. 4 straight hits for USA. Canada won last year's border battle, and as soon as you talk to the USA players, the American players, asking them about that, and it's burns quite a bit is the way a couple of the guys put it to me at that loss a year ago to Canada.
It really does, especially the way that they lost. Runners on first and third in the last inning and only down 1 run, and they couldn't get him home to tie the game. Brian Rainwater is the first time I've had an opportunity to see him play. Heard a lot about him, but probably one of the best hitters in the country and a tremendous outfielder. But boy, just watching him swing the bat, especially to left field, he's a great opposite field hitter.
And we're going to see another pitcher for Canada coming into the game now.
Looks like Scott Lee is going to take the mound.
Scott Lee. So while Lee warms up, we step aside. Already 13-0 USA.
How durable is Quaker State? Reach 300,000 miles with eligible Quaker State motor oils, and we'll give you a check for the Kelly Blue Book trade-in value of your car. Quaker State, real.
Customers through life's changes with personalized loan solutions. Now, as One Main Financial, that commitment remains the same. How do I know? I work there, and I live here.
One Main Financial. Your needs, your goals, your dreams.
A year after losing to Canada in border battle number 2, it's USA 13-0 as USA continues to bat in the bottom of the second, and clearly this Team USA is ready to go in 2011.
Well, it was a minor embarrassment last year. They felt like that they didn't play their best game and they should have won, and so they came in a lot more focused this year.
Andy Purcell had a 3-run home run his last time up. Now with runners on first and second, Purcell trying to keep it in the ballpark. Grounds into the 4-6-3 double play. Purcell thought he beat it out.
Yes, sir.
It's Jeff Garrett doing a good job to get the ball to Olivier Forrest. Turning this double play. Close play at first. Andy thinks he's past the bag. But you can see this ball's hit right at him. And boy, he gets there fast, too. Perry does a good job turning around. A good turn at second. If I'm turning it, I want it. I'll just say that.
You won a Gold Glove with the Mets, right?
Yep, won a Gold Glove in 1980. And see Steve Forrest limp out to have a minor argument. Won't last very long. Steve's walking back with had major knee surgery.
Yes, sir.
You can see why Purcell was a little upset.
Absolutely.
You mentioned Steve Shortland and the playing hurt. In fact, he told me on Thursday that he would not be in the third base coaching box because of that torn quad and the big surgery that he had. But the head coach of Team USA, the Air Force veteran, is playing hurt. Rulli lifts that one into left center field. Gone, but not forgotten. Off the left center field scoreboard wall. Home run number 7 for Team USA, a 15-0 lead.
Here's the little guy. The little guy gets a chance to swing, and boy, pounds one off. What a good swing. You know, he is a good player. And I heard a lot of people say that he was a glue. His glove is excellent, which we've already seen. And now we've got a chance to see him base hit it and hit the ball with power.
So Rulli did not play in last year's border battle, one of the 6 new players for Team USA. And you can see his impact already. A couple of sparkling plays at third base. And a 2-run homer, a pair of runs scored.
Yeah, he's playing really well. These 6 Rosmondo guys that didn't play last year have come here this year, and they won the first year. But all of them said it was an honor to play the first year. They didn't want to miss last year, but because of some things that were happening, another base hit right there by Ditonatis.
I'm on 3.
And he goes digging for 2.
He's so good at slapping the ball that way.
Attaboy, 3, great work.
These kids are so versatile now. I call them kids, and some of them are in their 40s, but they are so versatile in what they can do with the bat. Back when I played, you had your designated home run hitters and your designated base hitters. Now you have guys that can do all of it. Yeah, he's a good runner. You just watch him take the good turn at first base, thinking 2 all the way.
Good pitch. That's
Ball. 3 balls, 1 strike.
Jake Jr. Todd. Good pitch.
Ball.
Greg Cannell draws a walk. And here is Brian Wegman. Pair of singles and a run batted in. 7 home runs used by Team USA, but with 2 runners on and Wegman at the bat.
We may see number 8. Last time he base hit it, they moved back a little bit, covering that hole that he likes to hit through so well, just to the right of the pitcher.
Wegman lifts this one into right field on a line, sliding to make the grab in right field. Galashan to end the second, but Team USA comes up with 5 more runs after 2 complete. A 15-0 lead for Team USA.
Hi, we're looking to save some money on our car insurance.
Great. At Progressive, you can
USA earlier today in Oklahoma City, but in the men's slow pitch game, it is all USA. 15-0. Canada has not put a runner on base. First 6 batters retired.
It's been a while since I've seen that at any level. There's a base hit by Mike Hook. Played his college baseball at the University of Louisville in my home state of Kentucky.
So that breaks up the no-hitter by Andy Purcell. You didn't really think that we were gonna...
I was about to ask you, did you really have visions?
Well, you know, we didn't jinx him. We did not mention that the no-hitter was going, so Andy can't blame that one on us, right?
That's true.
We abided by the old rule. Didn't mention that through 2 innings, he had the no-no.
That's right. And this is a big inning for Canada. They have to come back with some runs, substantial runs this inning to stay in this game.
Jason Galashan made the play in right, and now drills that one for the first runs of the game for Canada.
Well, I didn't think there'd be a shutout either. And that ball is hammered. See the 350 sign way out in right field, and that ball had plenty of distance. What's just power swing right here? You can see him. Wow. That's just some good bat speed. And he's thinking dead red all the way that he's just going to go for the gusto. He wasn't thinking base hit.
And how about the swing from Galashan? Starting with the arms extended and keeping them extended.
Yep. Pretty swing.
So Olivier Forrest, middle infielder for Canada, bats now after the Canadians get their first 2 runs.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Andy Purcell's 2-2 lifted into right center field. Ground rule double as it one hops over the wall. Forrest down to second base. So Canada, first 6 hitters retired. Now 3 straight have reached.
Yeah, they've loosened up now, starting to come back a little bit. You know, this stadium built in 1987. The first home run was hit by a member of this Canadian squad who happens to be one of their co-captains, and that's Tim Daly. And he hit it in 1987 when he was MVP of the Canadian Championships. So we may get to see him. He's on the roster. We may get to see him today.
3 balls, 1 strike.
Oh, here we go. There it is.
Ivan Payne slaps that one through the left side. Bringing Forrest home for the 3rd Canadian run, 15-3.
One of the strengths of this Canadian team, talking with Jeff Seguin, who's coaching third base, they call him Bug, is that when these guys got together for the first time, they bonded so quickly, and they really felt like there was a lot of Canadian pride. Ball hit down to Ruley for 1. Double play. Excellent turn. Bryson Baker at second base.
So Ruley starts the double play. It was last inning that Ruley made a couple of highlight plays, and now he's starting a double play.
Yeah, ground ball. He gives a perfect feed to Bryson Baker, who turns it excellent. That's as good as you'll see in the big leagues right there.
Well, back to the top of the Canadian order, Dave Bolt.
Wow. There's a defensive award. I know who my vote goes to.
Ruley picking it at third base on the short hop to retire Bolt. USA coming to bat again.
Some people think Allstate only protects your car. Here's the truth. Allstate can also protect your home or apartment, as well as your boat, motorcycle, RV, and snowmobile, and even your retirement and your life. Not many insurance companies can say that, but Allstate.
Border battle number 3 between Canada and USA here in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. And one of the greats in men's softball, Jacques Millier, passing away recently. Doug?
Yeah, he was the first. You see a great picture of him. I remember when he came over and started with Steels. There's a picture of him with Rich's Superior. Had cancer. We gave him a little shout out last year, and this year he passed away 2 weeks ago, actually. But Kevin Burgin, one of his teammates, who normally wears number 39, right there you can see him wearing number 57 in honor of his good friend Jacques Millier. He's on Kevin's heart very much, as well as the rest of the Canadian team. One of the best players to ever come out of Canada, if not the best, and the guy who really opened the door for all the Canadian players to come to the United States to play. So to his family, our hearts go out to them.
And you see a lot of Canadian players coming to the U.S. now?
Yes, well, there's 6 off of this Canadian team right now who are playing in the United States. And Canada's very big. They have a tournament the 4th of July where they will have 10 to 15,000 people. And you get an idea to see Kevin as he's down there now, probably going to get, or he's getting loose, taking a few swings, and I'm sure he'll be in the game today. But just not only was Jacques a great player, but he was a great person.
And the bottom of the 3rd, Brett Helmer leads off with a single. Here's Bryson Baker, who has 1 of the 7 home runs for
2 strikes.
Team USA. And again, 10 home runs is the allotment. So only 3 home runs remaining. After that 10 home runs, then everything that goes beyond the fence is an out. So Baker singling back up the middle. So is the goal now, Doug, to, I guess, kind of what you laid out at the beginning, where the USA was going to try and do, get a couple of runners on base before you swing for the fences?
That's it. And this would be an opportune time now for a home run. That would give them 3. They're right now looking for the kill. They're going to try to win this game in 4 innings if possible. That's what their focus has been. It was to come into here. They picked up these extra players. According to Steve Shortland, he feels like there's a BB out of the ballpark.
Rusty Baumgartner, gondola, line drive over the left field wall to make it 18-3. A 15-run lead for Team USA. We're in the bottom of the 3rd. The run rule is 20-run lead after 4. So that's what the USA is aiming for right now.
This guy has been one of the most prolific players ever since he came up. His trying to hit a base hit, you can see he was going to hit a line drive, but he's just so strong. The ball had good spin and gets up out of the ballpark. But his first year of playing was my last year of playing. I got the chance to see him then, just a young, scrapping youngster, and now he's become one of the best players in the country.
And Johnny Mccraw had an accidental 2-run home run his last time up.
There's another accidental.
Pokes it out to the center field. Well, look at Johnny Mccraw just stopping between home and first. That's twice now. And again, he said if I hit one out, your home run call should be oopsie. Well, that's 2 oopsies for Johnny Mccraw. It makes it 19-3 and 9 home runs now for Team USA. So only 1 more left in the gun.
And it'll be an oops if there's nobody on base. You see the guys running the bases now. When they play in their regular leagues through the summer, when they hit a home run, they don't have to circle the bases anymore to try to speed up the ball game.
Yes, Johnny Mccraw played collegiate baseball at Appalachian State, then played professional baseball in the Houston Astros organization. And Johnny told me that when his pro baseball career was done and somebody suggested he play slow pitch softball, his first reaction was, oh, come on, slow pitch softball. Then he went out there and it ticked him off because he had so much trouble hitting the slow pitch, especially, he said, when trying to go the other way, trying to just single back up the middle or take it the other way. Had to wait so long on it. He had to totally retool his swing.
And you do. It took me a couple of years to get used to it. And Johnny played 2 years in Class A ball with Houston, but it is a totally different swing. You're using all of your body to provide the power. In baseball, it's more of a short, quicker swing instead of a longer swing. And some of these guys I noticed on this USA team, they have several that played college baseball and were pretty good too.
Ball.
One of the questions, Carter, that gets asked me, Could an all-star baseball team beat an all-star softball team? In softball, absolutely not. In baseball, of course, they could.
Because of just the difference in timing and rhythm as far as hitting the slow pitch softball as opposed to the fast pitch baseball.
Now, given time, obviously, because most big league ball players are such great athletes, they would eventually learn how to adapt. But if you just said right now, let's take an all-star baseball team, put them on the field with these guys, it'd be no contest.
What about the big red machine that you were a key part of that big red machine?
I was the glue,
right?
man. I was the glue.
That's what I thought. I mean, Morgan and Bench and Perez, role players, Rose.
I helped them as much as I could. You know, I kind of tried to guide them out on the field and give them as much supervision, and they took it quite well.
There's some guys spitting out their schlitz right now, I think, somewhere.
Yeah, it's probably them, because I think they're watching today. I did a little deal with them the other night, and that was kind of part of my introduction, was to get up and say, you know, as good as these guys were, they didn't win it before I got there, and they didn't win it after I left. So, but their response is always the same. Well, you just keep on believing that.
That's Doug Flynn, big league player from 75 to 85, including those 2 World Series with the Cincinnati Reds. So what's the discussion right now for Team Canada as they huddle in the circle?
What they're doing is just trying to break the momentum. Usually when you go out there, there's not a whole lot of talk that has anything to do with specific things like where to throw the ball. They're just trying to break the momentum of the other team. So Bug has walked out, and he's basically just told his pitcher, he said, nothing, just talk to him. Hey, it's hot out here. You know, do your best to get somebody out, and I'm going to kill some time.
Candlesticks always make a nice gift?
Always.
Play. So Andy Purcell with 2 runners on. So do you think Andy is swinging for the fences here with 2 on?
I think Andy will probably try to get the ball up, hit the ball up the middle.
Instead, he blasts it out to left field.
Foul ball.
Just foul.
I don't think that's what he was trying to do. He might have been trying to hit the line. You see a lot of conversation when guys get on base and they talk because they are playing against each other most every weekend. These teams will travel and play 18 to 20 weekends a year, and so a lot of these guys are very familiar with each other.
Purcell hammers that one through the left side, so a base hit, an RBI single, keeps it in the ballpark. Well, speaking of, you know, the weekend and how these guys compete against each other, other than national team play, getting ready for this border battle, what's the schedule like for guys like Andy Purcell and the rest of these softball players?
Good swing by Andy right there. They'll meet and play all around the country in softball tournaments.
Johnny Mccraw played collegiate baseball at Appalachian State, then played professional baseball in the Houston Astros organization. And Johnny told me that when his pro baseball career was done and somebody suggested he play slow pitch softball, his first reaction was, oh, come on, slow pitch softball. Then he went out there and it ticked him off because he had so much trouble hitting the slow pitch, especially, he said, when trying to go the other way, trying to just single back up the middle or take it the other way. Had to wait so long on it. He had to totally retool his swing.
And you do. It took me a couple of years to get used to it. And Johnny played 2 years in Class A ball with Houston, but it is a totally different swing. You're using all of your body to provide the power. In baseball, it's more of a short, quicker swing instead of a longer swing. And some of these guys, I noticed on this USA team, they have several that played college baseball and were pretty good too.
Ball.
One of the questions, Carter, that gets asked me, could an all-star baseball team beat an all-star softball team? In softball, absolutely not. In baseball, of course, they could.
Because of just the difference in timing and rhythm as far as hitting the slow pitch softball as opposed to the fast pitch baseball?
Now, given time, obviously, because most big league ball players are such great athletes, they would eventually learn how to adapt. But if you just said right now, let's take an all-star baseball team, put them on the field with these guys, it'd be no contest.
What about the big red machine that you were a key part of that big red machine?
I was the glue, man. I was the glue.
That's what I thought. I mean, Morgan and Bench and Perez, role players, Rose.
I helped them as much as I could. You know, I kind of tried to guide them out on the field and give them as much supervision, and they took it quite well.
There's some guys spitting out their Schlitz right now, I think, somewhere.
Yeah, it's probably them, because I think they're watching today. I did a little deal with them the other night, and that was kind of part of my introduction, was to get up and say, you know, as good as these guys were, they didn't win it before I got there, and they didn't win it after I left. So, but their response is always the same. Well, you just keep on believing that.
That's Doug Flynn, big league player from 75 to 85, including those 2 World Series with the Cincinnati Reds. So what's the discussion right now for Team Canada as they huddle in the circle?
What they're doing is just trying to break the momentum. Usually when you go out there, there's not a whole lot of talk that has anything to do with specific things like where to throw the ball. They're just trying to break the momentum of the other team. So Bug has walked out, and he's basically just told his pitcher, he said, nothing, just talk to him. Hey, it's hot out here. You know, do your best to get somebody out, and I'm going to kill some time.
Candlesticks always make a nice gift?
Always.
Play. So Andy Purcell with 2 runners on. So do you think Andy is swinging for the fences here with 2 on?
I think Andy will probably try to get the ball up, hit the ball up the middle.
Instead, he blasts it out to left field.
Foul ball.
Just foul.
I don't think that's what he was trying to do. He might have been trying to hit the line. You see a lot of conversation when guys get on base and they talk because they are playing against each other most every weekend. These teams will travel and play 18 to 20 weekends a year, and so a lot of these guys are very familiar with each other.
Purcell hammers that one through the left side, so a base hit, an RBI single, keeps it in the ballpark. Well, speaking of, you know, the weekend and how these guys compete against each other, other than national team play, getting ready for this border battle, what's the schedule like for guys like Andy Purcell and the rest of these softball players?
Good swing by Andy right there. They'll meet and play all around the country in softball tournaments. They had one in Cincinnati a couple of weeks ago, and USA did an event where they did 3 or 4 exhibition games, and then they all make up with their respective teams, and they finished 1, 2, 3, and 4, which doesn't surprise anybody. So, you know, it's fun, and they get paid a little money to go play, and their companies, bad companies, will help them out. And, you know, the bad companies that are here are doing a good job of keeping the game of softball alive. People like Boomba, who puts the uniforms out here for the USA and the men and the women's team.
Slapped into left field by Dennis Ruley, again keeping it in the ballpark, and Ruley drives in another run.
Was he having a game?
Ruley brings Rainwater home, Purcell over to third, and so Ruley has 3 runs batted in and 3 terrific plays at third.
Now he's turned the lineup over again, which is what you want from your guy hitting down at the bottom. So you got the top of the order and DiDonatis getting up. And he's a fun shortstop to watch. He's got really quick hands. He's got a good solid arm, able to play a little deeper than what we see the Canadian infielders doing right now. They may be trying to cut off a run.
DiDonatis lifts that one into center field, tagging and scoring from third base. Purcell moving up to third, Ruley. So we'll make it 22-3 USA on Canada. And again, after 4 innings, if Team USA is up by 20 runs, then that's ball game. That's the run rule.
That's right.
In the bottom of the third, and we're getting closer to that 20-run mark. Off the center fielder's glove, so it's now a 20-run lead for Team USA with 1 out in the third. So a reminder here about some of the differences, including that run rule.
Yeah, that run rule is 20 after 4 innings and 15 after 5. And right now, I promise you, that's on the minds of both ball clubs, but especially this USA team.
Gotta have 30. Come on.
Wait.
Good pitch.
Right there.
Team USA has used 9 of the 10 allotted home runs. And again, if you hit one over the wall after the 10 home run allotment, then that just counts for an out. So that's why budgeting home runs is the goal, although the USA has poked a few over the fence when trying not to. Seems so counterintuitive from, the baseball and softball game that you're used to seeing.
That's true. This is such a talented team, though, and they can base hit it so well. First inning looked like they were really wasting a lot of home runs, but they're so talented. As Steve Shortland said, the absolute possible best team that I could put on the field.
Craig Cannell knocks it off the center fielder Mike Hook again, who is having a rough third inning. And now Cannell will dig for 3, driving in another run, 24-3.
Hey, guys.
That was Brian Wegman there that time. I believe Carter got up and was such a good base hitter.
And you are correct, Doug. I don't know how with 24 runs and 27 hits, my scorebook has not kept up adequately. And here's a pinch hitter, Gino Buck. Gino said he started playing softball literally in the church leagues in his native Minnesota. He is a Dakota Sioux from the Prairie Island Sioux tribe in Minnesota. And that's how he got into softball. Said never really imagined that it would lead to a career in playing for Team USA.
And probably the second best pitcher in the country to Andy Purcell.
Here we go.
And now it looks like Coach Shortland will probably try to get some guys into the game.
Gino Buck places that one perfectly down the right field line, one hopping the wall, bringing Wegman in, 25-3.
You're getting an idea of just how talented these guys are. They know they only got 1 home run left, and they're able to base hit it so well.
When did the home run allotment come into play at the top levels of men's softball, and how has that changed the game?
Well, it's changed the game when they moved the bases back, and it's brought more defense into the game, because the scores used to be in the 70s and 80s. And it got to the point where every game was 3 hours long, so they finally had to do something where you could bring the defense back into the game. So they said there's a 10 home run limit playing in international games like this. Now, when they play at their normal leagues, if the top-ranked teams play against each other, then I think there's a 16 home run limit. If a top-ranked team plays against a team that's ranked just a little bit below them, then there's a 12 home run limit. And if a top-ranked team plays against a team that's an A, B, or C team, then I believe there's an 8 or 10 home run limit. So it depends what competition you play to. Because when you go to tournament, every team you have 4 major teams, and the rest of them are not major. So you have to try to do something to kind of limit that.
Del Beggs, the pinch hitter for Team USA from Gainesville, Florida. Played collegiate baseball at Santa Fe Community College. Sends that one to right, tagging from second, moving on to third. Puck, although a heck of a throw from Galashin in right field made that one interesting. What a cannon shot from Galashin.
I tell you what, that lets you know just what kind of arm he has. That is fun to watch when you see somebody that's got a good arm like that's not afraid to use it. You can see him set himself, and then he cuts it loose. Throws just a little bit off the money, but man, that's a good arm.
Ball.
See if Rusty's going to base hit, if he's going to try to hit one of those 450-foot jobs.
Deep in the hole, the shortstop Cayley throws out Bumgardner to end the third, but Team USA up by 22 runs. Canada needs to add to that 3 on the board to keep the border battle going.
Get out! Get out!
USA's in command of border battle number 3 in Oklahoma City. ESPN's coverage of Major League Baseball continues tomorrow night. Sunday night baseball, Braves versus the Reds at 8 Eastern. Then on Monday night, Braves again against those Pittsburgh Pirates in the NL Central. Right in the thick of things. Major League Baseball and ESPN Sunday and Monday. How about the Pirates,
What's going on? Clint Hurdle, Manager of the Year. They have been playing very well. I happen to stay in touch with Clint quite often. To see that team play so well. The Reds have a good ball club. There's just something lacking there. They got beat yesterday by the Braves. And now it looks like Milwaukee's got a game lead in there. St. Louis is hanging in there with the Pirates. So I don't know if the Reds are going to be a team that's going to fade out. They seem to have the talent to win it, but boy, these other teams are playing pretty good.
Well, if you haven't paid attention to Major League Baseball for the past 16 years or so, just the Pirates are still in contention.
That's right.
Right there in a pennant race, the Pittsburgh Pirates. Well, here in Oklahoma City, men's border battle number 3, calling it the rubber match because USA won year 1, Canada won year 2. This is year 3. And because of the run rule, which is 20 runs after 4 innings, if the USA can hold Canada here in the top of the 4th, this game's over.
This game is over, and there was a great opportunity that time to keep the first hitter off the base. Jeff Garrett, probably the best player on this Canadian team, best all-around player. Hit the ball very hard. That's a tough play, but I know that's one that Cadell thought he should have.
So Canada has to get to 6 runs before we're done with the top of the 4th. Otherwise, it's a run rule victory for Team USA. And Canada has used only 1 home run, so the home run allotment of 10 isn't a factor in the top of the 4th for Canada.
Well, since they have so many runs left and they want to keep this game going, or so many home runs left, wouldn't be surprising to see them hit a couple of solo shots.
Bobbled, but a recovery at shortstop. What a terrific recovery.
Real good.
By Didonatis at shortstop.
Was that Didonatis or Baggs? Looks like it might have been Baggs, I believe, was down there, and that was some kind of turn. I didn't think he had a prayer after the ball got bobbled. You see the ball get bobbled here by Cadell a little bit, picks it up, and just a wonderful turn with a good, quick arm. Wow. Outstanding.
And so with this ground out, USA takes care of Canada 25-3. Well, it was a USA team that was motivated to get a little vindication after Canada won border battle number 2 a season ago, and boy, did Team USA prove it.
We talked a little bit early, the way that the USA had been playing up to this point, and then we saw Canada play a couple of games. I was going to be shocked if the game went any further because they were just playing that well. And when a team's on a roll like the USA was, they felt like they had something to prove. A little embarrassed last year when they didn't score a run in the last inning to at least tie the ball game. They were on a mission, and this mission started right after that ball game. They decided to get the very best players possible, and they did that.
25-3, the final score, USA over Canada. Border battle 3. We'll have more from Oklahoma City, including some of the big bombs from Team USA.
The 2011 Men's Border Battle is brought to you by Progressive, making it easy to bundle home and car insurance. By ASA, play ASA. And by Geico, saving people money on more than just car insurance.
Our Golden Corral game summary for Border Battle 3 shows it was all USA, 25-3 USA over Canada in a run rule victory. Again, 20 runs after 4 innings, so 25-3 Team USA over Canada. Carter Blackburn with Doug Flynn, and we talked about how Team USA, after last year's loss to Canada, was focused and ready. They said that in the days leading up to this border battle. They showed it on the diamond today.
Well, they really did, and the tone was set by Dennis Ruley. He made some great plays at third base. Canada, 6 up, 6 down. Last year they scored 11 runs in the first inning. I think that really set the tone. Then the USA just unleashed their unbelievable offense. The best talented softball players in the nation right now.
And Dennis Ruley now joins us from the field. And Dennis, you competed 2 years ago in border battle, missed last year. What was it like to be back out there this year and leading the way in a rout by Team USA?
Well, you know, it's just a privilege to be here. I mean, to be nominated to be one of the players. ASA does a great thing for the sport, and you know, when we get on this field, we're just trying to do whatever. Every one of these guys, you know, we practice. We come in early to practice, do whatever it takes to win. And when you get in a situation, you know, you just got to do your best. You know, you're out there, you're trying to be hard-nosed and make the plays. You know, last year they had a tight one. The year before it wasn't so, you know, spread out either. And this year we wanted to make sure that we came in and made a statement, and all the guys were ready. I mean, we were focused. You know, I mean, it was one of those things.
Dennis, yesterday you and I talked about some of the great players that you watched when you were growing up. We saw a couple of them. Ron Parnell. We saw Daryl Beeler. We mentioned Greg Whitlock. Today, you were right in that category, buddy, because you were outstanding defensively and offensively.
I appreciate that, Doug. I really do. You know, I mean, you get an opportunity like this, and you just got to do your best you can. I mean, you get an opportunity to make a great play, you know, you got to go after it. You know, that's the thing. It's about the pressure, and we just wanted to win really bad.
Dennis, we're going to show some highlights of your day today, including the defensive effort. A couple of sparkling plays, but you did it with the bat as well. So the home run off the scoreboard in left center field, and then a couple of spectacular defensive plays.
Oh, this is outstanding right here. That's big league stuff right there, my man.
Yeah, you know, it's good stuff.
Hey, Dennis, for the folks who, you know, look at softball and they say, well, you know, I've played softball before. I've been in that dugout with the cooler as kind of a casual sport. Explain a little bit about how different this level of softball is for you guys competing at this level.
Well, you know, it's not like we're in baseball. There's a lot of teams. Here, there's a handful of top-notch teams, and you have to earn a spot on that level. This isn't, you know, you just don't get there. And by getting there, a lot of people think it's about the home run. And believe it or not, that home run, I was trying to hit that left center gap, and you know, and I spun it and missed it, and it happened to go out. But most of the guys on this team are trying to do what it takes to get on base. So let the guys like Brett Helmer and Rusty Baumgartner get in there, hit a long home run with 2 or 3 guys on base. But, you know, in our sport, you know, to get up there, you know, if I was to tell anybody anything, I'd say do what it takes to win, be a good team player, you know, make the plays when you can. And, you know, like you said, you got to get in that box and you got to do whatever the team needs you to do. The home runs are no longer, as Doug knows, back in the day it was unlimited. Nowadays there's limits. So you have to play the whole game. And defense, as you can see, it definitely comes into play. I mean, you know, we have like 5 shortstops on the field, you know, and like I said, you know, in ASA allowing us to do this in 10 home runs, it's not a lot of home runs, so you have to manage them, and obviously we didn't, but then we came through in the end, and you know, it worked out for us. You know, we played good defense and hit the ball we needed to. It was a lot of fun.
Dennis, thanks for your time. 25.
You know what, can I just say, I want to say a shout out to St. Andrews Behavioral Kids. That was a great time, and thank you very much for having us over there. You really hit our hearts, guys. Thank you.
For Doug Flynn and our entire crew, I'm Carter Blackburn. Next telecast tonight, 9 Eastern, USA versus Japan on ESPN2. Stay tuned, SportsCenter. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. USA takes the border battle 25-3 over Canada. SportsCenter, right now.